Hey, what is up guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG, and in this video guys, I have a starting list for Garbodor Espeon. Now, as you guys can probably tell on the screen, there are a lot of options to change in this deck, and I purposely went for that. Specifically, probably the Parallel City, along with the Shauna in here. I'm going to kind of get into that here in a little bit, but if you do enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, it'll be much appreciated. And let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start this one off by taking a look at Garbodor. What Trash Lance does 20 for each item card in your opponent's discard pile, and then Acid Spray for 70. Flip a coin if heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. This card is so freaking good that some decks were having to change up how they were being built because of the fact that Garbodor was just hitting for way too much damage. And yeah, it was just crazy just seeing how players were playing now and how conservative they were being. This card is just fantastic. But yes, this is pretty much going to be the main attacker of the deck. The crazy thing is whenever they do knock it out, they only get one prize, and if they play down a bunch of item cards, then you're just going to be returning with a Trash Lance that is going to be dishing out a lot of damage. And of course, you do have Choice Band as well, so that is just going to be increasing the amount of damage you can do, which is really good. Acid Spray is an option. If you throw a Choice Band on it, you could do 100 and get that possibility of discarding an energy. But most of the time, you want to conserve your DCs for something else and just go with Trash Lance. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Garbodor with Garbotoxin. Pretty much, if a tool is on Garbodor, then Garbotoxin is going to activate, which is going to make it to where no abilities can be used, pretty much. It does have Offensive Bomb. If you are trying to pull off Offensive Bomb, chances are the game is not going in your favor. But it does do 60, and then your opponent's active is now confused and poisoned. If it didn't take 4 energies, that might be decent because you could throw a Choice Band on it, which would activate Garbotoxin, and then you'd be hitting for 90 with confusion and poison. But pretty much what this is going to be for is to just shut down popular abilities. Of course, you can shut down Tapu Lele's Wonder Tag, you can shut down Eevee's Energy Evolution, you can shut down Gardevoir's ability, Volcanian's ability. It can also shut down Alolan Ninetales' ability. Just everything that has an ability, Garbotoxin is going to stop it, and that can really help you out in a lot of different situations. We run this little dude here. He's adorable. Stomp Off can actually hit some funny stuff sometimes, I found, with this deck. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Tapu Lele. It's going to be one of your attackers, ironically, with this deck, because most of the time it is just in here for Wonder Tag, but of course Energy Drive and Tapu Cure are both going to be used in this deck, which is really cool. Energy Drive is very good. Is basically Mewtwo's X-Ball, just you don't hit for weakness. You do 20 for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. But for the most part, this is going to be in here for the ability Wonder Tag. Whenever you play Tapu Lele down onto your bench, you may search your deck for a supporter card, which could really, just change the game in your favor. I don't know what happened. I am just blah today. But anyway, as long as you have an Ultra Ball in your hand and Tapu Lele is in your deck and you're able to play that Ultra Ball, that's pretty much a guaranteed supporter. Tapu Lele is incredibly strong. Going to be playing 3 of them in this deck. If you do not have 3 of them and you have like 2, I would suggest taking it out maybe for another supporter. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Espeon-GX with Psybeam, Psychic, and Divide-GX. Psybeam does 30, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Psychic does 60, and then 30 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, which can do a pretty decent amount of damage. Then it also has Divide-GX. You can put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. This card is very good. I am a huge fan of Espeon-GX. I think it is a very solid card. Not too expensive too, which is also a really good thing. So it's not too hard to get your hands on one of these, or 2 of these, or 3 of these, whatever you want to do. But basically, this card just hits for Psychic Weakness, and it has like 3 very solid attacks you can do, and of course the 200 HP. And the fact that you can just literally throw down a Psychic Energy onto this little 60 HP Eevee, and then it turns into this thing is pretty awesome. But yes, Eevee with Energy Evolution, definitely the one you want to go with, because like I said, throw one of these down, you have an Espeon. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Drampa-GX. With the attacks Righteous Edge, Berserk, and Big Will GX. Righteous Edge, of course, does 20, and you can discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Berserk is going to do 80, and then if you have any damage counters on one of your bench Pokemon, or just any bench Pokemon in general, you're going to be doing 70 more damage. And then Big Will GX, you shuffle your hand into your deck, and then you draw 10 cards. The cool thing about this card is that you can throw a Choice Band on it, And Righteous Edge is going to be doing 50 for 1 energy, and of course you can discard a special energy, which is very good against a lot of different decks. And then Berserk, if you have a damaged Pokemon on your bench, pretty much Choice Band is going to make Drampa hit for 180, which is just a key number for a lot of different matchups. And Big Will, if you're getting absolutely destroyed, you can just get yourself a fresh hand. But of course, I don't like doing that personally because this card exists. But yeah. Pokemon line I feel pretty comfortable with, but now we're going to kind of get to where you guys can start making adjustments, and hopefully I can learn how to speak, because that's been a struggle this video. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get into this, starting off with Professor Sycamore. Of course, you can discard your hand and draw 7 cards. I know some people favor 3, just they don't feel comfortable discarding that much, just discarding stuff in general. I can completely respect that. If you do want to run 3, that is definitely up to you. We also run 4 in, just because VS Seeker is gone. Just want to kind of maximize the supporter count as much as you possibly can. We run a Bridget in here. This just allows you to pretty much get your field set up. You can search your deck for 1 basic EX. We don't run that. Or 3 basic Pokemon, except for Pokemon EX. So literally we could just grab Drampa, we can grab Eevee, we can grab Trubbish. Do not grab Tapu Lele. Do not do that. That is a very bad idea. Unless you're going to attack with it. But anyway, yeah, Bridget, just very good. And, of course, you can search this out with Tapu Lele, so you can get your field set up pretty much turn 1 or just whenever. We run an Acerola. This is really good to deny your opponent a prize or just pick up something in general. Or if you have energy on the field on a damaged Pokemon, just a variety of things you can do with this card. And then, of course, we run 3 Guzma. The reason we run 3 is, of course, there is no VS Seeker to get this card back. And on top of that, it is the Lysander replacement. We do utilize Floatstone in this deck, so that means you can bring up something with a Floatstone to retreat it and just, you know, hit whatever you bring up. Guzma is an extremely, extremely good card. And the card that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are sitting there shaking your heads, probably flipping me off on your computer screen for, is Shauna. I'm trying this out because I was just like, this deck doesn't run Octillery, so I'm trying to make sure that I can get as much as I can out of my consistency. So I'm just trying out a Shauna. You guys can definitely go with something else. I was trying Lily, then I tried out a Shauna. It's decent, but I'm thinking I might take it out. Yeah, just trying something out. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Field Blower. You can choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon Tool cards and Stadium cards in play and discard them, so you can get rid of tools like Choice Band, Floatstone, stuff like that. And in stadiums, you can just get rid of whatever stadiums out in play. Parallel City, I went with this over Po-Town because I personally do not like Po-Town at all. I just, for some reason, am not a big fan of it, so I just decided to run Parallel City. If you do like Po-Town, you can definitely run that over Parallel City. Ultra Ball, this is just in here so that way you can search out some stuff, get rid of some resources like late game that you might not need in case you get hit by an N. And on top of that, like I said earlier, guys, if you have this card, Tapu Lele is in your deck, that is a guaranteed supporter. And then we have 2 special charge in here. This deck is pretty reliant on DCE for the most part, and you only run 4, so this is just a way to get 2 of them back in there whenever you play this. So yeah, you have the possibility of running 8 DCE basically in a matchup, which is pretty nice. We run a Rescue Stretcher. You can shuffle in some Pokemon, or you can just grab a Pokemon for your discard pile and put it in your hand, like a Tapu Lele or something like that, just whatever the situation might call for. Whoops, sorry. I think I just brushed my mic, my bad. We run 3 Choice Band just to increase the amount of damage you're able to do. This can make Espeon, Drampa, Tapu Lele, and Garbodor all hit for a higher amount of damage. And then we run a Floatstone. This is preferably going to be thrown down onto your Garbodor with Garbotoxin. But this can also just kind of give you a little bit of flexibility throughout matchups, just to free retreat and such. And then we run 8 Psychic Energy along with the 4 DC that I covered a second ago. But for the most part, this deck it can be tricky at times to play, just deciding what attacker you want to use in what matchup. But the more you play this deck, the more you'll kind of realize what's good against what. Garbodor is a very good attacker late game, or if your opponent is for some reason throwing down a ton of item cards early on, that's good. Drampa can just hit for a lot of damage, and then Espeon's a very solid attacker. And if your opponent is throwing down a bunch of energy on Pokemon and you're able to hit for a pretty solid amount of damage, Tapu Lele, it's a good option. But yeah, I like this deck. This is pretty much just a starting list. I'm going to build upon this and kind of work on it for some tournaments I plan on going to in the future. But yes, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And remember, guys, this deck is purposely built so that way you can make some changes because you guys are all awesome and way better than me. So you guys could take this and probably do wonders with it. I'm sure you guys can do this. I believe in you. So yeah, take care, guys. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out.